All right, cool. Hey, how's it? Is it going okay? Are you happy with? Are you comfortable auditioning in general? That's good. I mean, learn to love to audition because you will always have to fight for parts your entire career, you know? And even if you go through a period where they offer them to you. But one thing I did when I first came in, I had a huge audition for like Stephen Bochco or someone, and I walked in, and for some reason the chair was all the producers and everybody were in this like U, and the chair was really deep towards them, and so I sat down and did this scene, and it was so awkward, and I was like, well, the chair's there, you know, instead of coming in, and the first thing I do is I make the room the way I want it to be made to do the scene the way I want to do the scene. And if they say, can you sit down? And I'm like, my energy's kind of jacked if I sit down on this scene. Do you mind if I stand up? And be polite, but it is your time. The audition is your time, so make it your time. And if someone's trying to tie you to some weird Procrustean bed and jack your, you know, the way you've prepared your scene up, don't let them. You know, fight to make the space your own. And I got caught in that a little bit when I first started, you know, and not rudely, you know, and don't do those weird, sometimes people, what was that dude that came in? Were you telling me about some friend who came in with he did an accent because he felt like if they found out that he didn't, what was that one?
Yeah, God, this dude's such a loser.
We have a lot of good stories that we bust each other up about.
So don't do this. This fucking retard. He goes on this audition to play. The guy's from Rancho Cucamonga, California, just to the east of Los Angeles.
Fine place.
Yeah, well, well, in any case, they don't. It's not London, right? Or Manchester was where he said he was from. So he's a Southern California kid, and he's going on an audition to play a Southern California kid. But in his mind, what he's thinking is, okay, I'm going to do an accent, not while I'm doing the part. When I'm doing the part, I'll talk normally. But when I'm meeting the casting people and the producer, I'm going to speak like this, you know what I mean? You're all right, love. Cheers. Thanks for having me. You know, whatever, you know? And he's like, because they're going to think I'm, dude, and this is great, because they're going to think I'm so brilliant at accents. Like, dude, you're from Cucamonga.
And they'll find out immediately.
He's so hung up. And this happens. You run into people who become so hung up on these weird little, gimmicks type.
Gimmicks, tricks, BS, bullshit.
It never works.
You walk in there, be yourself, be cool, be humble. They know you have no. They know you don't pretend like don't pretend like you come from a background you don't. You know, if you're like, hey man, I was driving trucks until I was 28 and I just kind of fell in love with this thing. I mean, that's the thing that draws people to people when they start lying about this incredible theater. Man, I was the king of theater in, you know, northeastern Michigan. Like, no, they don't care.
Yeah, no one.
You know, and if you try and use hyperbole to describe, it's like your work will speak for yourself. Just be a good person.
Here's the thing. I mean, they never work ever. None of that shit works.
Right.
It doesn't.
It humiliates you.
But what? Yeah, it does.
It humiliated me, Michael.
But what does work is hard work. You know, and that's just the way it is. Listen, as an actor, you're born. You have two things going for you. You have talent and you have craft. And you're born with X amount of talent. That is what it is. It's never going to get bigger. It's never going to get smaller. It's not going to go anywhere, which is good. But your craft will always get bigger, always grow, constantly evolve, and that's what gives your talent its shape and its definition and its form and its voice. And if I'll be the best actor I am on the day that I die, you know, I mean, I'm constantly, even between jobs, I go to the actor studio 3 times a week just to work on shit. Ballerinas got to stretch every day. Athletes got to train every day. It's the same thing with actors. And as weird as it sounds, man, that's what works. If you focus on being the best actor that you can be, then that's what's important. Then it makes all the other shit so much more it's so much easier to handle.
Fall back on the quality of work that you do, and you'll never.
And just hang your hat on that. Hang your hat on that, you know. And I never was interested in anything other than being the best actor that ever walked the fucking planet, you know. And I'm still trying to get there. But you know, that's something that you can legitimately. You know, you don't have to. You didn't get this part. You didn't get that part. Whatever, dude. I'm going back. I'm still grinding out, trying to. Go ahead.
So just be patient.
Yeah.
There are a lot of really good people doing what we do. And so if you go out for something and you hit it out of the park and you don't get it and you want to get bitter and you want to think that they've made some arbitrary decision, a lot of the times I didn't get the part and I fought for it and I went back 7 times, you know, with the producers and the director. It'd be like, oh, because it was up me against John C. Reilly or Philip Seymour Hoffman or, you know, guys I came up with, Frank Whaley, all of us friends, have a lot of respect for them. They're great. You know, in a high water, you know, the high tide floats all boats. If you're bitter in spirit, your work's going to suffer. Now, if there's something special that you can do, you know, don't necessarily wait for the, now, and Michael knows this well, like, because we have mutual friends. I was out there, and I had and I never really took advantage of it, but I kind of had an ability to improv in character. And it was something that Hollywood wasn't interested in knowing about necessarily. I'm just auditioning for normal janky sitcoms and getting small parts here and there. And 2 things happened to me that shook me. One was I'd written a story for National Lampoon magazine about touring with this band, a band that Michael's friends with, and in the LA heavy metal scene. And so then I was auditioning for 2 lines in this movie called Airheads, and the director comes in late with like some Mercedes that's not available to the general public, and he comes, oh, sorry, so nice to meet you. Dude, I wrote this script after I read your article in National Lampoon, and the script sucked, by the way, you know? And you're like, this dude's getting paid $800,000 to do a bad version of the thing I wrote for National Lampoon, and okay, let's do the scene. And the scene is, there's someone on line 2 for you, you know? So if you can write it, write it.